from the heart to Philly, this is CBS News Philadelphia. Ross.
Dozens, if not hundreds of bags remain unclaimed here at Philadelphia International Airport. I'll explain what went wrong for several arriving flights last night as the airline and the airport now play the blame game.
Thank you, Ross. We'll see you soon. People in Chester County are dealing with flooded apartments, and it's not the first time. We'll show you the mess and what's being done to help them out.
Plus, a live look outside this morning. After days of rain, we are finally seeing a gorgeous weekend. But next, weather meteorologist Tammy Sousa is tracking some hot, scorching weather for the days to come. Today is Sunday, August 11th. Good morning, everyone. I'm Jan Carabeo.
And I'm Howard Monroe. Thank you so much for waking up with us. And let's get right on over to meteorologist Tammy Sousa with a look at your next weather forecast. Hot, but not as hot as it's been.
Oh, yeah. No, right now we're going to be average or slightly below and factor in a little humidity, but not today. Today is going to be a little cooler than yesterday, and we're going to have a bit more cloud cover. Let's start off first. Let's take a look at what's going on with that cloud cover across the city as we look back from the Ben Franklin toward Philadelphia, and you can see the gray skies out there. So we're dealing with gray skies this morning, but don't worry, they will give way to sunshine. So we'll have that mix of sun and clouds. I think that sunshine really starts breaking through this afternoon. Cooler than average, will be in the low 80s. We should be in the mid and upper 80s this time of year, and we are going to be clear and comfortable tonight. In fact, crisp. I mean, you in the Lehigh Valley, you bottomed out in the 50s. I think a lot of the area north and west bottoms out in the 50s tonight with the clear skies. Let's go down the shore where you're struggling to see any peaks of blue, a few shadows here and there as people are on the boards in Ocean City. We did have some light showers this morning, very early this morning. A disturbance passing by to the south clipped part of the shore areas. We are looking at 73 right now in Philadelphia, 69 in Trenton. We have 66 for all of you in Reading, Millville 73, 71 in Wildwood, and 63 degrees right now in Allentown. So for today, all the way up to 83 degrees. We'll have clouds giving way to some sunshine this afternoon. Look at the temperatures, are very comfortable, and they're very even as they fall off, and the feels like temperature, it's going to feel like the actual air temperature, so it won't be quite as sticky as it was yesterday. When I come back in a couple of minutes, we're going to talk about your work week ahead. Guys, back over to you.
All right, Tammy, we'll see you again soon. Thank you. Many frustrated travelers this morning at Philadelphia International Airport.
Some telling us that they have yet to receive their luggage hours after their flight landed. Our Ross DeMattei is live at PHL. Ross, good morning to you.
Good morning to you, Howard and Jan. For anyone who's just joining us, there were a lot more of these unclaimed bags outside of this American Airlines office at baggage claim in Terminal C earlier this morning. At one point, I counted more than 150 of them. And some of them have been picked up by passengers who have come back this morning, but many more of them have been moved behind that black screen you see there. So a lot of those bags are still here. And an employee from American Airlines earlier this morning told me that there simply weren't enough employees last night to unload about 3 flights worth of luggage, and that's what led to this messy situation. Here's what we know happened last night. An American Airlines flight arrived from Seattle. That was the first flight that tipped us off. And at first, passengers claimed that they were told there weren't enough workers to be able to land the plane. So they had to taxi around for nearly a half an hour until they could park it. After they finally deboarded, passengers say they waited for hours for their checked bags to arrive at baggage claim, but they never came. Plus, when the airline offered to ship their bags to their home for them, many of these passengers learned that they live outside of the 150-mile radius for shipping, so they really felt like they had no choice but to wait around at the airport for hours just for their bags to never arrive.
First, they didn't have people to land the plane, so we had to wait about 25 minutes on the plane till they got people to park the plane. Now we've been waiting here since 9 o'clock. It's almost midnight. Nobody's brought the baggage up yet.
As far as what's going on, I don't think anybody knows. It's tough to get answers. Evidently, they'll have our bags sent to us, but kind of feel more comfortable just waiting for it. But yeah, nobody knows.
So there you have it. A lot of confusion, a lot of frustration there in the moment, especially as no one got answers for hours. We reached out to both the airport and the airline, that airline being American in this case. And the airport, a spokesperson tells us that it is up to the airlines to handle any baggage issues. And the airline itself, American, hasn't yet responded to our request as to who is to blame here in this situation and whether or not this issue has been resolved going forward. Guys, we'll keep you updated as soon as we hear more. I'll send it back to you.
Certainly a lot of questions, and you completely understand it for sure.
Frustration abounds. All right, Ross, thanks so much.
Thank you, Ross. Some residents are still trying to get their lives back together after remnants of Hurricane Debbie hit Chester County.
People on the first floor of the Avondale apartments were forced to evacuate after a nearby creek poured into their homes. Residents say this is the second time their apartments were flooded in just 4 years. Dawn Clark's apartment was spared from the storm, but she's speaking up for her neighbors, who she says are mostly Spanish-speaking people with limited resources.
With, rent in this area is so high, they're losing their stuff, but, with rent being so high, they have nowhere else to go.
The shelter housing displaced residents has since closed, and we're told those who remain displaced will move to a hotel now, but it's unclear for just how long. New this morning, 7 people are facing charges after an illegal car meet in Northeast Philadelphia. CBS News Philadelphia on your corner in Tacony. According to officials, dozens of cars gathered near the intersection of Torresdale and Adams Avenues last night. Those drivers were reportedly doing donuts and other dangerous stunts in the streets there. Several cars were seized by police as well, including one that hit a police cruiser while trying to leave the scene. Philadelphia police say the city has a plan in place to crack down on this type of activity.
Again, this is something that the city is just not going to tolerate. This has the potential to be incredibly dangerous and catastrophic, both for the participants and innocent bystanders. And we are going to do everything that we possibly can to eradicate this type of activity.
Those suspects are now facing charges, and those charges range from disorderly conduct to felony assault on an officer. President Biden enjoying the nice weather on Rehoboth Beach yesterday, and generally the president also stops by local businesses in town when he's at that vacation at his vacation home.
As Megan Summers shows us, those businesses are expecting to see more of the president now that he's stepping away from the presidential campaign.
Businesses line the streets along the Rehoboth shore. When President Biden takes vacations at his Rehoboth Beach house, he's been known to make stops along these streets. One spot where Joe has been seen getting his Joe is Green Man Juice Bar and Bistro. Owner Jeremy Brockway says the president hasn't stopped by in a couple years, but thinks the town will start to see more of him as his term ends.
I think it's great. Yeah, I think why not? Just, he can relax a little bit and everybody knows who. I think he feels really at home down here.
Brockway says when he has stopped by, they haven't made a big fuss about it.
Probably it'll fade through and he can sort of blend into the local community, which I think is probably what he would prefer.
While spots like Green Man and the Juice have had President Biden visit before, others like Sassy Chic Embroidery say he's never come through their doors. However, this doesn't mean they wouldn't like to see more of him in Rehoboth as his term comes to an end.
Erica Meisner is the manager of Sassy Chic and was born and raised in Rehoboth. She says she hopes Biden can spend quality time with his family in town away from the public eye.
I'm sure everybody's going to make a big deal out of it, but I hope he can just come and relax and, do what everybody else wants to do down here.
Banking on the business from the Bidens when their stay in the White House is over.
And that was Megan Summers reporting in Rehoboth Beach. As you prepare your kids for back to school, the Ring the Bell bus tour still has 2 stops before the start of the school year. The first is on Wednesday at MLK High School near Haynes Street and Stanton Avenue in East Germantown. That's from 10 until 2. Then a week from today, the final stop is at Roosevelt Mall near Roosevelt Boulevard and Cotman Avenue. That's also from 10 to 2.
And Delaware County here, there was a big turnout for this back-to-school fair in Yeadon. The county health department gave away nearly 250 backpacks and supplies to families. Barbers also gave children free haircuts. All of this was made possible by donations from the community. And more than 300 boys and girls were given new swimsuits yesterday. State Representative Jared Solomon joined Philadelphia car dealer Gary Barbera to hand them out. And right after they got their new suits there, the kids got a chance to go swimming at the Max Myers Playground Pool.